Good day everyone, welcome back to the channel. This one is going to be the first one of a series of videos, sort of a tech videos on how to modify or maintain reels. And in this first one, what I'm going to talk about is cutting your own carbontex drag washers from carbontex sheet that you can buy on eBay pretty cheap. This full sheet, which was about that big, I think it costed me 20 Australian dollars. So yeah, it's a very simple system, the one I'm using, or methodology, and it's very precise, and you can cut washes for any reel. So the plan today is to cut washes for an old Shimano Calcutta Conquest 51 DC, which is this set of gears and drag stack that we have here. But I've got this one here, which is from a Daiwa CT, to show you the before and after. So if you pull that, well, firstly I'm going to show you, for the ones that are not familiar, how the drag works. The drag puts some pressure on this plate. This plate puts pressure on the drag washer that's behind it. I'm going to show you soon, and compresses that into the main gear. And same happens on the back of the main gear. At the back of the main gear we have another drag washer, and this plate, which is the one that pushes the clutch back when you start reeling. So yeah, basically what we have here is three aluminium or three metal plates. In this case it's aluminium, but in that case it's steel and brass, and then steel again, I believe. There's three metal parts with two drag washers in between, which gets compressed, and with this force is what creates the drag pressure, and then gets transferred through the main gear into the pinion and the spool, or the other way around, from the pinion into the main gear, and that's how the force is transferred through the system. So yeah, in this one I'm going to show you, if I can pull this one out. Okay, so it fits pretty tight in there. There you go. So that's that pressure washer or plate. That's the first drag washer in here, and I'm just going to show you now. It's got grease, and what I'm going to show you now is that's the ones I cut. That's it there, and that's it there. So these are the two drag washers that I cut, and I'm just going to show you now the original ones. So the original ones for this reel were this and this. So this was this. Get this out of the way. So this was this, and this was this. And you'll probably ask yourself why they're different size. Well, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to utilize the maximum amount of friction surface that I have to increase the drag power of these reels. So in this case, this was sitting here, okay, and this plate was in there, and obviously we were missing a fair bit of contact area in that internal part. So what I did is maintain obviously the external diameter and increase the internal, or decrease the internal diameter, so that it fits exactly in all the contact area that we can effectively use in this particular gear. At the back, what I'm doing is, this was the same. This was that little washer, and what I did is utilize. So I kept the internal diameter as it was, and increase the external diameter to fully utilize that disc, as you can see. So that gives me the maximum amount of drag power and smoothness that I can get from this gear set. I'm not quite sure why the manufacturers don't provide the drag washers that big, maybe to limit the amount of drag power that goes through the system and avoid failures and possible claims from customers. I don't know. I personally don't care if I damage parts of it. They're usually easy to find and replace. So if I damage the spool or if I damage the gears, I can replace them. I don't mind. But the type of fishing I usually do, if you've been following my videos, I fish heavy structure, and I want to be able to pull the fish quickly out of cover, and I really need the maximum amount of drag power that I can get out of a reel. So yeah, that's sort of the theory, what I've done on this one. So now I'm going to show you how to do the same for this one here. It's a little bit, or it's very different than this one. So that's why I wanted to show you standard, I would say, or a current Daiwa drag sort of stack for you to understand it, because that one's going to be a little bit different. But anyway, the methodology of how to cut the drag washers is going to be the same, just different sizes. So yeah, let's have a look at the Conquest drag stack. So what we have here, it's pretty much the same thing. So we have this plate on top, we have a drag washer in the middle, and we have this plastic thing that's attached to the back of the gear. That's basically that's the clicker, that's the drag clicker. And yeah, in the other one, in the Daiwa, it was sitting inside the gear. So you'll find that every reel has a different sort of drag clicker. Sometimes they don't have it. But yeah, that's like it's the same sort of philosophy. We have 3 metal beads. In this case, it's got a plastic bead as well, but technically 3 metal beads and 2 drag washers. So in this case, what we're gonna find here is that the outside drag washer, which is the one that sits inside the gear, this one we can see the lighting. This one we could increase a little bit, going inwards again, similar to what I did with the other one. But we have these holes here, which is where this plastic part attaches to. So that sort of locks that in. And to be honest, if I run my drag washer over these holes, these are probably going to be damaging the drag washer a little bit. But in this case, for the pure exercise of creating a different size drag washer for the video, I'm gonna do it, and then just keep an eye on it and see if this really, when you put pressure on it, if this really sort of bites into the drag washer. But anyway, I'll do it and see if it does damage the washer. If it does, I can always just do another one that's more similar to the original one. And for the back one, we can't really increase the size, because this one here is fully utilizing already what we have available of surface area, pretty much. So in this case, we'll replicate another one like this, and we're not going to change the size of it. So yep, let's get into it. So let's remove this. We said we have to copy this one, and this one, same external diameter, and reduce the internal, same external diameter, yeah, and reduce the internal diameter. So external diameter bit of an old school one. It's 27 mil. A little bit less than 27. Just a bit under 27. 26.8 or so. And the internal diameter is going to be just to miss that ring, which is a little bit over 11.2. So okay, let's get into it. You want to make sure you put things away because things are going to get dusty now. All right, so now I'm going to show you what we need. We obviously need the old washers or the measurements of them. We need the carbontex sheet. We need this one, which I'm not quite sure about the name of this, but yeah, we need one of those. Can probably do the same with other stuff, but this works pretty well. We're gonna need a Dremel or similar of any other brand, but yeah, rotary tool, and we're gonna need a disc to cut, and we're gonna need one of those old ones. That's the old support of the discs. The old discs used to go in here, but yeah, the new ones in the Dremel, they have this quick release sort of system, which doesn't quite work for what I want to do. So we're gonna use this disc, but then we're gonna use this for something else that you'll see. And then lastly, we're gonna need a sanding block, just a common sanding block. And ideally, you want to have the Dremel stand, or I'm not sure if it's called stand or yeah, I think it's called table attachment. You'll see it now when I change the camera view and I show you. So yeah, that's the tools we need for this. So what we're going to do now, we're going to mark in here the two washers. So the little one is 21 mil. So we're gonna do 21 mil. So we're gonna do half of 21. Let's do 11. So it's gonna give us 22, and then we can always reduce it a little bit. So let's do this. It's gonna mark it here. So okay, let's use this little corner here. A little bit higher. So okay, so you want to make sure you stick the middle one in properly, and then we just mark this circle. We just want to mark it. I'm not gonna do anything else other than just mark it in there. Does that look pretty much? Yep. So we're gonna be marking this, and the other one we said it was 27. Not quite. We're gonna do 14 and 14, which is gonna give us 28. Yeah, it's about 14. It's gonna give us 28 mils. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Once again, I'm gonna be marking this. Beautiful, that's all we need. That's all we need. We make sure central hole is marked properly, because we're gonna need it later. We can even now make it bigger. So we have the two washers marked in there. So we make that middle hole proper hole. About, I don't know, let's say a mil and a half. All right, that's done. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna cut this roughly with the disc of the Dremel. So I wanna say roughly is, yeah, rough, very rough. So let's just put the disc on. Just gonna change the camera angle now, because I'm not gonna do this on the table. All right. When I say cut it roughly, it's very roughly, so just you don't need to follow this, the circle. I'm just gonna cut in like an octagon or something like that, and then we'll make it round. Don't worry about it. I did that. That's all we need. And now you're gonna see how we make this round, and we make the size very, very precisely to the size that we want to. So now what we do is we're gonna put this here. So first we're gonna remove the disc. We're gonna put the Dremel in its mount. Now we're gonna put this here. See, like this was our disc. Okay, now just gonna lock this in. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to turn this on and then slowly start running the sanding block on it, and it'll become round. And then what we're gonna do when it's round, we're gonna measure it, and it'll be a little bit too big still, because I always cut it a little bit too big, so that we can always reduce, and then slowly keep eating into it until it's the perfect size. So let's get into it. Now this is round already. We can actually compare against the original one. We can see it's still too big. Still probably a couple of millimeters too big. The target was about 27 mil, a little bit less. We're on 29, so yeah, let's just slowly keep eating into it until we have the right size. It is important to keep moving the block, otherwise you'll cut into the block. You don't put any pressure, it's just touching and moving up and down always to avoid the actual washer cutting into the block. Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting pretty close. What I can do now, I can see if it fits. Looks like it does. I'm just gonna remove a tiny little bit, because I think it is a little bit too big. Yeah, he's tiny little bit. So let's do it. I'm pretty sure this is now perfect. Yep, it's tiny little bit bigger than the original one. No, I think it's exactly the same. So we're gonna put it into the gear and see. And yes, it fits perfectly. Perfect. Okay, so we have the right size. The external size. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the same with this one, the smaller one, and then we're going to start with the internal diameter, which is a slightly slower process, but you'll see that's very easy as well. So let's do this one. Okay, so we have the two washers already cut to the right size externally, and we need to make the internal holes. So what we're going to need now is just a normal drill and some drill bits. And we're going to start with a fairly small size, say 2.5, which is as small as I have here, because we've already made a hole that's about 1.5 or so. So we can make it even bigger using this, even slightly bigger. And this one. I think I went reasonably big there. So I think we can skip the 2.5. Just gonna start with probably a 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 is pretty much the hole that we already have, but just for the sake of cleaning the hole, that's what I'm doing. So you gotta be careful with your fingers, obviously. Ideally you wanna hold this somewhere, but I've done it a few times, so I recommend, if you haven't done this, just secure this somewhere, like in a vise or something. I just use my fingers. Probably shouldn't, but I do it. So we keep increasing. 3.5, that's no, a 4 mil. 4 mil. Just measure the diameter that we need to. It was 11 on this one. On this one it was, we're at 8 mil. Yeah, 8 mil is quite standard. So that's the shaft. That's the size of the shaft. So we're going to be increasing. I'll probably just fast forward this. We're going to be increasing every step 0.5 mil. So 3.5. This is a 4. So we're going to do a 4.5 now, then a 5, and so on until we get to the size that we need. Okay, so we got to 7.5, and we had to get to 8. So what I'm gonna do with this last bit, I'm just gonna use a little file, a round file, so that it just cleans that hole a little bit, because you can see how the drill is leaving, but that's okay, because at the end you just run this and it's fine. So these two are almost identical now. The new one still has the internal hole a little bit too small, but we'll get that to the right size now. There you go, that's perfect, 8 mils. So now we have the replacement for this one here. Perfect. So the only thing we need to do now is to clean it a little bit with an old toothbrush. You can just clean it like that. It's full of dust now, and you want it clean. And then we just put a little bit of dry grease. I'm gonna show you which one I use. But yeah, this one is all good now. It's all done. So we put this one aside, and we're gonna continue with this one. We're gonna continue drilling until we get to the right size. Just clean the hole a little bit. I haven't got to the right size yet, but I just wanted to clean the hole because it looks a little bit out of center. But that's okay, because we haven't got yet to the right size. So yes, so I should stop going into this side. That's all right. That's finished. So we need to eat into this side here. That happens sometimes when you drill. This one got, that one, the little one got perfect in the center. This one, it went out a little bit, but that's okay. We can rectify that with this. Try and make it as centered as possible and as round as possible, obviously. So still a little bit, but not much left. Let's check the internal diameter. That's 11 and a bit. 11 and a bit. I think it's safe to say this is now finished. Yes, it does still have a bit of a play, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want it too tight. Beautiful. So now we're fully utilizing the whole gear. You can see how much extra surface we're using. I mean, when you increase only one, it's not ideal. You usually want to increase the two, but still better than nothing. So anyway, that's it there. I'm just gonna put this together. Just gonna be using this grease, Shimano DG1, which is a dry grease, pretty sticky. I find that really good. Makes the drag really smooth. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit on the washers on both sides, and we put it together. I'm not putting it together now yet because I'm just servicing this reel, but I thought it was a good opportunity to actually show you guys how to make this. Just gonna move this away and put a clean one on. And yeah, that's sort of the final product. Well, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, give us a like, comment down below if you have a better way, or if you found a video that shows a better way, or if you don't like something that I've done and I could improve it. Yeah, don't hesitate to put a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't, and check out my fishing videos. Alrighty, see you in the next video. Cheers.